Michael.
Thank you. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. So, hello, for any of you that don't know me, I'm Michael, I'm Gerard's wee brother, and Siobhan's new brother-in-law. And Gerard has asked me to say a few words here today on his behalf, and on behalf of the newlywed couple, as his best man. Now, I'm going to let you in on a wee secret. So you might think it was a wee formality that being Gerard's only brother, I would be asked to be the best man at his wedding. In reality, it was quite far from that. I've been informed that Gerard actually went and asked his best friend to be his best man. And he said, "I'm sorry, I can't, I've been quite busy lately." And then he thought, what will I do now? So he went and he asked the most handsome man that he's ever seen on earth.
I said no.
He did say no. He did, and then he thought, I've got a brother. So I'll ask him. And he did ask me, he took his time, and I was going to say no, but seeing as he'd asked me for the third time, I thought he might be getting a bit desperate. So, my first protocol today obviously has to go to the bride, to Siobhan, my new sister-in-law.
Yay.
She is looking absolutely gorgeous today, don't you agree? Also to Siobhan's maid of honour and our bridesmaids, to Nikki and to Taylor and to Brogan. You're also looking gorgeous too. To Father Hugh, my uncle, for leading the service today. To Anne and to Sean, thank you for everything that you've done in the build-up to today and for giving my brother a wife. To Mum and to Dad, thank you on behalf of Gerard and I for everything that you've done for both him and I over the past 27 years. It could not have been easy for him being the brother of Michael. And you know, I'll let you in on another secret. My mum said to me today, and she was telling me just there as well, don't embarrass your brother. Don't be rude. And don't swear. And to that I say, we'll see. So, Gerard Anthony Thomas Joseph Seenan was born on the 27th of September 1997. 2 weeks late he was. A tradition that he carries to this very day. And I'm led to believe that Gerard had quite a happy infancy. My mum's miracle baby. Number one son. She doesn't hide it. And that all said, the happiest day of Gerard's life must have been in the 21st November 1998 when he was diagnosed with a wee brother. And our best friend for life. Well, he's a tenor. And he'd be nice sometimes. So, growing up with Jerry Boy was a good laugh. We were quite close in age, and as you heard in his speech, we tended to hang about the same people, doing the same things. We were a wee bit like twins. And if we weren't playing football, we were playing the PS2, PS3, you name it, we did it. We built snowmen, we built snow toilets, remember that? We even found a bit of sludge to put in them. We even got up to a lot of mischief too. We've broken many of my mother's Ladro in the past, glued them back together, broke them again, and we've even broken bones, although I might add that they were all Gerard's bones. We used to fight on Mum and Dad's bed with the loser being the first one to fall off. And you know, a personal highlight of mine was when we were dragged along to a church family night and one of the parishioners said, "Do you know, see for the children of a school teacher, you two were awfully badly behaved." But My favourite memory of Gerard, and I actually don't know who was there when this happened, I was when Gerard tried to steal money out of my gran's ski-aft charity box. As my gran and I watched from the living room. He may or may not get the belt after that. Now, another one of my early memories of Gerard was that he was a bit of a Pokemon geek. Playing Pokemon on the Nintendo became a bit of a habit of his, racking up thousands of hours. That was his thing. I just watched. He's also a lover of a game called Skyrim. Anyone know Skyrim? Didn't think so. He achieved platinum status in Skyrim, and if you're not a gamer, I'll explain that. It's about the saddest and the nerdiest thing that you could possibly do with your earthly existence. Now, as Gerard and I started to get a bit older, our interests changed slightly. Gerard started to want to lift weights, get big muscles, and he started drinking protein shakes. Gerard ditched the infamous Gerard haircut, and he switched to the style that he has here today. To everybody's. So, he even, and I'll tell you this as well, he used to pay me to film him lifting weights and doing pull-ups at his doorframe. However, at this point, I knew there was someone, somewhere. If you want video evidence, my name's Michael. You'll find me at that bar later, and I drink Guinness. Now, I was going to say I don't know if you know how Gerard and Siobhan met, but he stole my thunder. I'm going to rock with it. Pretend you don't know. Now, I genuinely wasn't actually fairly. I didn't actually know fully how they met, but I had a wee bit of an inkling. So, what I did know was they were in the same course at university, and they stole my thunder about the Tinder. And I thought you didn't know that, Mother, and I was going to tell you.
Can I just say one of your nights coming home you told me about it?
That wasn't me. So, anyway, as Gerard said, Gerard swiped right, Siobhan swiped right, and a date was set. And I kind of remember coming home, don't know where I was, and there was a wee bit of an atmosphere about the house. Gerard was frantic. He was getting ready to go out, and he was taking my mum's car. And Mum and Dad refused to tell me where he was going. It was all a wee bit fishy. And after he left, it transpired that he was going on a date to Ayrshire. Now, I better tread carefully here because I want to make it out alive. But I thought, what the fuck's he going to Ayrshire for? There's folk in Ayrshire that don't even know the Queen's Head. And I'll not even start with what my dad said. All jokes aside, it was the best decision that Gerard ever made. And apparently I found out today he's got emotions, and we can all see how happy he is. Now, Jerry boy, speaking of Ayrshire, any memories? Air races? Uncle David? Bring back any memories?
Certainly does.
Gerard at the air races?
Sounds a lot of fish to me.
Mother, close your ears. I have it in good authority that Gerard allegedly.
No, it's true.
Gerard allegedly was caught by the police after allegedly breaching public urination offences at the air races one day. And he was even that scared of what to do, he allegedly contacted my Uncle David, who's a retired police officer, to find out what to do. You want to know what to do? Don't piss in public. Now, I was going to say now Donnelly, and I'm looking at this going, now former Donnelly, Mrs. S. it's your shop. And I genuinely don't actually think I remember my first encounter with Siobhan, but I kind of remember playing PlayStation with my pals, too scared to leave my room for the entirety of the night because my big brother had his bird up. Not that she showed her face very often, she was in her house a lot. She would come in, say hi, and the two of them would make a dart and run towards the bedroom, where they would, watch TV and that. They're married now. Two things stand out in my memory, Siobhan, and I'll deal with my embarrassing one first. I was at home, minding my own business, and I knew that my mum, my dad, and my brother, who still lived with us at the time, would be back imminently. And I went, I was home alone, I went to the toilet for a number 2. And as you do when you're at home alone, you leave the door open. While in the lavatory, my mum, my dad and my brother returned. My mum needed the toilet. I had announced my presence in the downstairs toilet and sent her on her way up the stairs. I stretched over and I pulled the door closed. I didn't lock it. They knew I was there. It was fine. Unbeknown to me, Donnelly had arrived. Unbeknown to Donnelly, I was in the toilet. And the next footsteps that I could hear, I presumed, were perhaps Gerard or my dad, and that they would just pass by. I was wrong. And as I exclaimed, "Can I not do the toilet in peace?" I looked up from scrolling Facebook to see a traumatised Siobhan Donnelly standing in the door frame. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Now, my stories of Donnelly do not stop there. They say, as always, you've heard this before, there's 2 things certain in life: death and taxes. There are 3. Death, taxes, and me bringing this up at the wedding. At Gerard's 21st, we all had a good time. Young team, we were all out. Some of you'll remember it. It was brilliant. And by a complete fluke, we had a family friend staying over from America. He was travelling around the UK. He wanted a bit of digs. Cool, that's fine. Now, I don't know if you know much about American drinking culture. Less said about that better. He was looking for a scotch and a lager beer. Well, he was in for a treat. And in true Scottish style, he was loaded with a half bottle of Bucky in the train and a can of Tennent's as we walked our first pub of the evening. It was carnage. But the real story happens when we return to Pentland Road. Gerard, Siobhan, the American guy, and I stumble out of the taxi. The first thing they two were looking out for was, is Mum and Dad awake? The mum, brilliant. Now that could have meant many things. This was Donnelly's first time staying at Pentland Road. As he was asked, was he a good boy? Or was he brave? Was he going to go to his own room anyways? I was out of the equation. I had an American bloke in my room. And might I add, it was a paralytic American bloke as he tried to handle the Scottish culture. Now, Mum and Dad were sleeping, but they were suddenly awakened. Will I tell them, Donnelly, or will you? No, it wasn't her. Now, I'll tell you the truth. So the decision was ultimately taken out of my hands anyway, as my mum and dad both woke up. How, you ask? Well, Siobhan says, and she's said this for quite a while, you take the glass of water before you go to bed, you don't get a hangover. We've all heard it. We have all heard it and we've tried it. She asked who wants one. I didn't. Nor did the paralytic American. So we turn up and we go to leave the kitchen and we walk up the stairs. And all I can hear walking up the stairs is an almighty smash and a big thud. Now, I'm not sober myself in this situation, And still to this day, Siobhan, I do indeed wonder, how can the American who's halfway up the stairs have smashed a dozen of my mother's great glasses? Any ideas, Mother, with this new evidence?
My lips are sealed.
Well, Siobhan did indeed pin the blame on the American guy who, in the morning, didn't remember leaving the city centre. Now, I've spoken too much, and I've even spoken more today than I thought I would have on Monday when I got a couple of readings chucked my way. And I perhaps spoke a load of nonsense as well. And a guy like me, I'm getting a bit hungry, and I've even worked out that my brother might be paying for a meal for me tonight. Who'd have thought it? He's even that considerate that he's promised a nut-free wedding with me being allergic to nuts. But as I look around and see some of the people that are in front of me, I think he's just talking about the food. So, before I go, I want to just thank everybody that's made a journey here today. We've got folk from Ireland. We've got folk from London. We've got folk from Glasgow. We've got folk from East Kilbride. And we've even got folk from Ayrshire. And to echo the comments of Gerard and of Sean, I looked around today and I noticed quite a few notable absences as well. And I'd like to finish by talking about them as well. Particularly the grandparents of Gerard and I, on both sides. I know for a fact that my dad's dad would have loved to have seen my dad and Gerard's dad become the amazing father that he has to both of us, and the role model that he has become. I would like also to talk about Gerard and the amazing grandson that he has been. My dad's mum as well, although she got to thankfully meet Gerard for a very short few. Oh, here we go. As long as she got to meet Gerard for a few months at the end of her life. And also to my amazing Gran and Grandpa Lee, who were nothing short of an inspiration for Gerard and I as we grew up. They are indeed truly missed, and they will be looking down upon us here today, absolutely with us here in spirit. And I also note the absence of Siobhan's Gran, Mary, as well. So again, as Sean's put on a toast for us, if we can toast again to our absent family and friends. To absent family and friends. So today, my big brother Gerard becomes the luckiest man on earth as he marries his best friend, his confidant and his soulmate. May God bless you as you begin this new life together as husband and wife. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are able, please be upstanding for the new Mr. and Mrs. Gerard Seaman.